jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
Good morning and big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. You already know the first in the building. Stick 'em boys fishing and sports. Salute WCS morning chat fam is on deck. What it do, man? This is the Hot Grease Chronicles EP 363 year 2024. And you already know, 3rd of August, Marjamoff is going down. The Omaha Monster is back on deck. Now, as we already know, following last year, I continue to remind people because that's one of my responsibilities, as we call it in the core, AORs. AORs. You know what AORs stand for? Area of Responsibility. It's up to me to provide you with a POI, period of instructions. July 29th, like I always say, bringing in all the freaking instruments, all the freaking orchestra, symphony, the conductor, and take you back to the gloomy side of July 29th, 2023. When that horror flick music started to play. You know what I'm saying? We all seen it go down. That's what we wanted, right? Like, for real, that's what we wanted. We wanted the fight between Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. We wanted the fight. Let's be honest with ourselves. We wanted the fight for years upon years upon years. We wanted the fight. I repeat, boxing fans wanted the Crawford-Spence fight. But it seems like when it got closer, the ones that were supposed to be rooting for their guy, more so on the Spence side, they decided to kind of act like they wanted to put up all these restrictions. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to have all these stipulations. Crawford had fought his last fight with Sean Porter, and now he was attempting to go over there and negotiate with Al Heyman. But it just seems like his fan base was failing him because all they doing was talking. They was talking like they wasn't sure. Now that the time was here, they wasn't sure on which direction they wanted to go. All they wanted to do is act like they was a part of the freaking negotiation process at the table. They act like they didn't want to fight. I ain't never seen any fan base, and I've been on record, you heard me, I say that's the worst fan base ever in boxing. The aerosexuals. When it got closer and closer to the fight, they was more so talking about Crawford instead of talking about Spence and what they thought he was going to do. They was busy talking about Crawford. the dumbest thing you'll ever see to the lead up of a fight to boost up your fighter. You talk about his opponent instead of boosting up your opponent and saying what he's going to do to Crawford, what might happen, prognosticating, predicting, and everything else that comes with it. The man attempted to go over there and negotiate with the team he had with no promoter. It didn't work out. And now, come to find out that Crawford's been knowing Turk Al-Sheikh for some time. And he tried to get him to make the Spence and Crawford fight. But Al Heyman said he didn't want nobody else touching it. You know he's not lying, because that information came out when Crawford and Spence tried to negotiate the first time, and Al Heyman said he didn't want nobody else touching it. So for those of you debaters, if you're ever at a point where you have individuals that you have trust in and you believe they can talk a certain level of boxing, always remember to point the finger at Al Heyman for holding up this fight, for the boxing fans for not making this for not seeing this fight happen in a timely manner, because Al Puba did not want anyone else touching the fight. He didn't want nobody else touching the fight. So therefore, the boxing gods, the idolatry, they had to descend down here and help us get this fight last year. And that's exactly what happened. Yes, it's a grand story, man. You know what I'm saying? How everything was this, that, and the other. Crawford calling up Spence, talking to him, trying to see what can happen, this, that, and the other. And then, us being on the outside looking in, we really don't know what the conversation was about. But I can tell you like this, the results were good enough for both fighters to get the numbers that they was looking for, and for both of them to split the ropes. Now, once we actually witnessed what took place at the T-Mobile Massacre, it just felt like what Al Heyman couldn't do on the business side with making this fight happen. Somehow he took it, him allegedly, along with others, try to hold this vendetta against Crawford. Once he did what he had to do, he went in there, he beat Spence. He beat him easily. So if it was a 2-fight deal in there, and the loser has 30 days to activate, the rematch clause, and it happened, and that particular person did not own up to it, and they wasted his time. I heard somebody make a good point the other day. Outside of Bud Crawford about to step in here and fight Madrimov, per the contract, if Errol Spence could not meet the requirement internal to the contract, which was the rematch because he lost the fight, shouldn't they pay Crawford some money for not being able to honor that? Or it was some language in there saying, if by chance a fighter has an injury, and being able to present a doctor's note, it disqualifies them for having to meet what was internal to the contract as sub-name fighter to honor the rematch. Maybe that excluded Errol Spence from paying out that money. You know what I'm saying? Because they should have paid Crawford money if he couldn't get the rematch. Anyway, moving forward, we already seen what happened. We watched it. We talked about it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no debate. It wasn't no debating, except, we was kind of taken back with all the freaking aerosexuals once again embarrassing themselves, talking about weight draining, coming up with all these excuses. So now that 23 has brushed elbows with 24, and 24 is now on deck. But the history is still, there for us, right? We still got the history heading into this fight. They was talking about how Crawford was so inactive. He was taking an extended victory lap and all that, which wasn't true. You know what I'm saying? He was just waiting for the best fight to come up. So when you look at it, he's right on time. You had to make sure once again that the business was in order. The business was in order. And a lot of people know that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford was going to fight at 154 because they kept on bitching and crying about, Errol being weight drained. They need to fight at 154 and it'll be a different fight. Well, they never really came back on here and apologized to the people because Crawford had nothing to do with the rematch not happening. It was all Spence. But they were sitting up here complaining, crying as loud as they could, throwing tantrums, talking about Crawford need to, let Spence fight at 54. And Spence freaking activated his rematch clause and then never followed through with it. So let's just dead that. Let's dead that. It's over. Done with. Now that the news is broken, Crawford went through some media drama again. Crawford went through some media pushback. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Bud Crawford, 2-time undisputed, current reigning defending, undefeated, 40 victories and 0 defeats. News is out there. This time is really, really good news, good positive news. But I want to go back to the Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu when the Aerosexuals, they haven't heard anything from Spence. They didn't know what was going on with Spence. So who was they talking about again? They was talking about Errol Spence nemesis. They was talking about what Crawford wasn't doing because, they just really wanted bad for Crawford. They didn't want him to. They talking about he was inactive. He was on an extended victory lap. But every time his name come up to fight somebody, they got something to say about it. Well, when Tim Tszyu fought Sebastian Fundora, Errol Spence showed up. And it was said that PBC had blocked Crawford and Errol Spence was going to get the shot because Tim Tszyu was going to give him the shot. They wanted to fight. And Tim Tszyu is a PBC fighter, right? So, they was going to insert Errol Spence into the equation because they was under the same promotional umbrella. Makes sense, right? You know what I'm saying? It makes sense. You know how they continue to still try to play this game. So Errol Spence got a free trip to Vegas. He came in there looking like he was a cruiserweight. And nothing came of that. All he got was a little bit of airtime. Showed the ticket as if he betted on Fundora, which that's cap. That's cap. He went up there and lost some money on Tim Tszyu. You know what I'm saying? He lost some money on Tim Tszyu. Probably the same money that Ryan Garcia gave him, the 20 grand. He lost that betting on Tim Tszyu. Anyway, they was all happy, man. I remember listening to some of these groups talk about how PBC is blocking Crawford, freezing them out, and all this other stuff. Ha ha ha, hey hey hey, he he he, ha ha ha, ho ho ho. It was so goddamn funny. And that stuff went away so quick, y'all. Then that news went away so quick. That evaporated so quick, man. When they was talking about hold up, not so fast. Hold up, not so fast. That doesn't mean. You know what I'm saying? They told Sebastian Fundora, you are to negotiate with Terrence Crawford and not Errol Spence. Do I make myself clear? I repeat, over. You are to negotiate with Terrence Bud Crawford and not Errol Spence Jr. Are we clear? Over. It was a bunch of little kids cheering, jumping around because Errol showed up and made a cameo appearance, man. And that shit just evaporated. Quicker than light when you cut the switch off. It's gone. Then, Crawford's moving forward. We hear little telltale signs behind the scene. What's going on with the paperwork and all that. Potential fight. You know, we was hearing Ennis name come up. You know, is this fight gonna happen? We was hearing Crawford wanted to fight Zoo. You know what I'm saying? And we thought Zoo wanted to fight Crawford, but come to find out, they was in his ear about fighting Errol Spence, Crawford, then Canelo. But one thing these fighters are finding out is that no matter what those people are telling them in their ear, it's turning out not to be true. They're telling them things is making these fighters look crazy. They made Errol Spence look crazy, man. Ain't nobody seen him in a minute. And he jumps in the ring and say, you know, time to get with the big dog. I'm gonna chop him down like I always do. And that's granted your last fight. You know, it's so many pictures out here that showed that you was on the receiving end of an ass whooping. So peep this out. Now that we at this point, and we keep hearing he's gonna fight Madrimov, we just waiting for some documentation to be conversation. Jermell Charlo comes out the woodworks. Another hating ass nigga, right? Never wanted to fight Bud. Always wanted to redirect him in certain areas that didn't have to deal with him directly. You know. What must we remind you of Jermell Charlo? Let me remind you.
He fighting again. Shit. When the fuck is he fighting again? Like, who the fuck he fought last? Like, I don't even know nothing about the kid. Don't ask me about Crawford, because that motherfucker ain't in my division. Like, we talking about a 147 pounder that was a 140 pounder. We need to fucking compromise. I get it. He won the undisputed, right? At 147 and 140. This shit is different when they get down to 147. 147, 154, 160, 68. This shit is different. Crawford ain't did shit in 154.
That was Jermell Charlo. You know, he was the one that was always complaining. He said he was a knockout artist, baby. So when it came to the point where Crawford had made it perfectly clear that he wanted to face Errol Spence and then Jermell Charlo, whenever Jermell Charlo was asked, he redirected and said, oh, he got business to take care with Spence. After he beat Spence, well, he got a rematch to take care with Spence. He needed to take care of that first. He was never obliging the call out from Terrence Crawford. Never. He always had excuses. Always. So then he come out the back room, wiping his nose off, and gonna activate his champion in recess, knowing damn well he hadn't even been in recess except 72 hours. How does that work? You're trying to say, oh, I'm gonna activate my champion in recess clause to block Crawford from fighting Madrimov, right? But the telltale signs, and what I like about this particular live stream is that none of these people who want to be a part of that process of blocking Crawford out, they didn't have success. They really never had a plan to begin with. They was just basically saying, okay, we can do this right here. Let's see if it works. We can do this right here. Let's see if it works. Spence's situation didn't work. They was playing checkers. That was going off what they had on the checkerboard. Jermell Charlo comes out. That shit don't work. So he's actually fighting for the WBA Super and then fighting for the freaking interim WBO. So Jermell Charlo can make this choice after we see this fight go down. Jermell Charlo can make the choice whether to finally step his whining ass up and face Crawford up the road. That's after he faces Sebastian Fundora at the end of the year, if that fight still happened, and send him back to the nose doctor. Maybe Jermell Charlo can be next up in line. But what I like is that Crawford is pretty much the captain of his own ship. He pretty much understands where his direction is, what his destination is going to be, and what the mission accomplishment. This has been crazy. Because how many times you got to slap these aerosexuals around so they can understand there's nothing they can do to stop the process? You can't stop the process, man. You can't stop it. Why do y'all continue to try? Why y'all continue to try? Them aerosexuals, they understand. They understand what happened to them. They'll never recover. That's why they're trying to talk about Shakur. They're trying to talk about Javante Davis. They're trying to find somebody to talk about other than Crawford. And Crawford right now has one of the biggest fights coming up. And he's fighting a guy that's only had 11 fights. But you know the grand scheme of things, why it's so big in nature? Is because Turk al-Sheikh, Saudi Arabia royalty, is putting together a huge, heavy, fight card. The first in the U.S. and Terrence Crawford is going to be headlining it. You think the aerosexuals can block that? You think Al Puba can block that? No, he can't, because he has fighters on that card. I think somebody was forced to bend the knee, y'all. I think somebody was forced to bend the knee. Even though he's not doing it for free, you know what I'm saying? He's not doing it for free. Truth be told, he ain't doing it for free. He's still getting a percentage off those fighters. So, he can say, okay, let me put some inactive fighters on the card. I'm still gonna get my percentage, period. So if you look at the people from PBC that's on the card, they're not huge names. You know what I'm saying? They're not huge names like, it would be if it was Spence. Speaking of Spence, right? To the aerosexuals, why aren't you speaking about when is his next fight? Is he gonna, it don't seem like he's fighting Fundora, because Crawford's supposed to be locked in for Fundora when he returns. Does anybody in the chat, let me check the chat right quick. Shout out to Big Blunts and Boxing in the building. What's good with it, Blunts? How you feeling, man? Arnold Brown in the building. Salute to you. Sir Senior is in the building. Man, I'm sick of this nigga, bud. He ain't nobody in my Wakanda voice. You got to just tell it the way it is, Sir Senior. If he ain't nobody to you, you know what I'm saying? Stop talking about it. Who want to sit up here and talk about somebody that's a nobody? You know what I'm saying? Aren't you just using unnecessary oxygen on somebody who's a nobody? Shout out to LAB in the building. What's good? What's good with you, brother? I see you on deck. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everyone in the building. Hit the like button if you can. Hot Grease Chronicles EP 363. I'm once again just trying to slowly remind those Spence fans that they're doing absolutely nothing for Errol Spence. You're the worst fan base ever. Errol Spence is still not on the box rec for a scheduled up and coming fight. But y'all was sitting up here doing live streams showing that you can still come out of hibernation and you know English, you know how to type, you know what your home keys consist of. And you was up there, he's blocking Crawford, he's blocking Al Heyman's blocking Crawford. Now that has dissolved. What's next? Because guess what? Crawford has a fight card where he's headlining August 3rd at the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles. Where is Errol Spence at? Why can't somebody send out the SOS, get on a walkie-talkie? Mayday, 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 mayday. Where is all the voices at? Why have they been silent for quite some time, man? Crawford is set to fight for a 4th division unification bout, and I'm not hearing anything out there from all you blockers, you player hating blockers, man. Where is all the where's the strategy, man? Can y'all just send me a copy of the tactics so I can look it over and tell you if it's gonna work or not? Where is the plan at? Are y'all looking at a map? Y'all like some little freaking, some little runts, as we used to call them back in the day, little runts. Y'all remind me of little runts, man. Always running around here jumping at the first thing you see, like it's something cool. You know what I'm saying? It's something cool. That's cool right there. Al Heyman blocking fighters, that's cool. But is Al Heyman going to be able to block this August 3rd card? No. So what's next for you all redirecting that energy to try to find out what's going on with Spence? because Crawford's already locked in. He's going to get credit for going in here fighting for a championship. And you all can say it's an okay card or Marjamov, don't nobody know him. But once again, this man is he has the support of Turk Al-Sheikh, somebody who he has known years ago. He's headlining this card, not Errol Spence. Why couldn't Al Heyman get Errol Spence to headline this card? Because Turk Al-Sheikh, didn't want him on the card to headline. Why couldn't Crawford Spence be the headliner? Because Crawford is moving on to bigger and better things, and he's going for a 4th division, and he said he wants to leave a legacy that hasn't been left. That means he's trying to do something that no one else has been able to do. And that, my friends, is why I feel comfortably saying that I'm on the right side of history by, supporting, 3 division, soon to be 4 division champion, the best in the game right now, Terrence Crawford. And then I think it's part of my duty, being that I've served my country before. You know what I'm saying? I did a little years, I did a little bit. I did, some years here and there, you know what I'm saying? Been around the way, you know what I'm saying? A time or two. But I think, when you serve beneath your nation's colors, you still have an obligation to basically serve the community too. And that's what I'm doing when I'm speaking boxing. I'm serving the community, and that means policing the community. And I'm serious. The one thing I don't like is when you police the community, you just see all these varmints, these rats. You know what I'm saying? These individuals that's scavengers at the end of the day. They just willing to grab on to any little thing that has, attachment to Crawford, and they'll try to downplay it, or they'll try to put it in the limelight as to speak something negative about the champ. And once again, this goes to show you they're unwilling to talk about what Spence should have going on. What is he doing? What is his next move? Do you have anybody you can talk to? Where are your sources? I mean, just holler at me. Where are your freaking sources, bro? We need some sources. We need for y'all to stand up for the sources. In the meanwhile, I want you to listen to Bozy Ennis. IFL TV ran into Bozy Ennis, and he mentioned how they want, Crawford. Okay? Because, since he signed with Matchroom, there's been a lot of talk. Eddie Hearn saying he's going to make the Crawford fight. But we all know Eddie Hearns has signed Boots to make money off of Boots. Putting Boots Ennis in there in the next 12 months with Crawford, it'll serve no purpose, because he has so many fights. He want to continue to get Boots to like 35-0. He really wants to make him a Hami Munguia, really. He wants him to build up his record and then get those big fights on the back end. The positive aspect about Boots, he's just so young, man. Boots has ample amount of time to really add some fights to his resume, man. Really real. He's a young cat. But I want you to listen carefully, y'all, to this interview conducted by IFL TV, and listen to what Bozy Ennis says, okay? This is just me doing a slight reaction to this video.
I like what he's doing, and plus, remember, I got Andy Gomez with him too.
Do y'all know who Andy Gomez is? Let me see if I can look Andy Gomez up. Bozy said he has Andy Gomez. Andy Gomez. Let me see. Andy Gomez. Who is this? I might don't know who this guy is. He might be out there. Let me see. So he might have meant Andy Cruz. He might have meant Andy Cruz. I don't know, Bozy. He might have meant Andy Cruz, man. We're just gonna go on a limb and say he meant Andy Cruz, because he's talking about Eddie. So we know Andy Cruz, who's training with Bozy. That's what he meant. Keep it going.
What does the next 12 months look like for Boots, in your opinion, from your discussions with Eddie Hearn? From your discussions with Eddie Hearn, what does the next 12 months look like for Boots?
I think it's going to be a hell of a ride the next few months. Would you say 12 months? I think we probably get maybe two fights out of this year, maybe three. But the way Eddie moving, we never know. We might get the three fights that we want.
A lot's been spoke about Terence Crawford. Is that a fight that you want for Boots soon?
Well, that's the fight I wanted for Boots. You know what I mean?
He said that's the fight they wanted for Boots. No hesitation. But when you asked Boots, Boots said Stanthionis and everybody else.
Back then, you know what I mean? And before Terrence, I wanted Spence, because Spence was undisputed, and that's what.
What? Say one more again. Say one more again. He said Spence was what
I wanted.
Again?
And before Terrence, I wanted Spence, because Spence was undisputed. But before Terrence, I wanted Spence, because Spence was undisputed. But before Terrence, I wanted Spence, because Spence was undisputed.
Now hold up, wait a minute. All I'm doing is reaction. No shot at Bodie. I mean, this is public record. I just happen to pay attention to certain things. And, it just puzzled me a little bit. So I went looking through Wikipedia. I used every search engine that was accessible to me, y'all, and I tried to find out, was there lost tapes, lost VHSs that had Errol Spence as undisputed? Was there a museum that basically on deck was able to have the hidden fossils, the scrolls, the books, the records of Errol Spence being undisputed back in the day? Are we truly living in the matrix, glitching? Could it have been that Errol Spence was indeed undisputed when he walked in there with Terence Crawford, and we were the ones who was glitching? Was it? Bozy said because Errol Spence was glitching. Let me listen.
And that's what I wanted. Spence, because Spence was undisputed, and that's what I wanted. And then after him and Crawford fought, then we went after Crawford, but we had wanted to fight.
So what you're saying, Bozy, in all respect, due to the findings, right? Because a team of fossil finders, cave dwellers, they located the information that Errol Spence was once undisputed in his past life, okay? And then once he stepped in there with once he stepped in there with Crawford, and Crawford, I don't know how he got the shot, because Errol Spence was undisputed, and Crawford, went in there to fight Errol Spence for Errol Spence's belts, all the way from the WBC all the way to the WBO. He went in there to fight Errol Spence for all the belts. So the whole time we've been in the matrix glitching, because Errol Spence was already undisputed prior to Crawford stepping in the ring July 29th. Look, I knew something was wrong. I said, there ain't no way Crawford beating up Spence this easy. This fight right here, somebody's playing around with the numbers to make it seem like that this is easy. This is something that don't make any sense. No one believed that Crawford can go in there and make it look easy. It makes sense now. It wasn't real. Now I believe the cloning. Now I believe everything else. It wasn't real. Because Bozy said that Errol Spence was undisputed.
Both of them. Yeah, I mean, even back then, we've been, trying to fight them guys back, these 3 years ago. You know what I mean? So, and then we couldn't get them. We tried to get, what's this, Stanionis. We tried to get Thurman. What's the other boy name? Was up there at one time, too. Ortiz.
Virgil Ortiz.
Ortiz. But at that time, they didn't, they didn't really wanted to fight Boots at that time because they down the line. But I understood that too. You know what I mean? When they said down the line, because that'd be a big major fight. You know what I mean?
Did he just drop the ER? He said Migger. I could have. No, he just didn't say that. Let me keep it going. He didn't say that.
What will it mean for you as Boots' father to see him come home, Philadelphia, the home crowd?
I just want y'all to hear that piece, man. Shout out to Team Menace, man. I just thought that was a little bit hilarious, with him saying that, Errol Spence was an undisputed champion. And all along, I always, think to myself, how and what could have been different July 29, 2023? Was it all real? I close my eyes and I look back at it. I say, man, it looks real, but it may not look real. And Bosey being older than me, I think, he kind of broke the code a little bit. He said that Errol Spence was undisputed, and that makes all the sense in the world as to why his boxing fans has never recovered from that night, because they probably seen Errol Spence as being undisputed in their own imagination. That's all I'm saying. In their own imagination. And all those title shots that Crawford was having with the WBO, it wasn't the super title. It had to be some type of, it wasn't even an interim title. It was more so just like you playing a video game and they give you some points and you're able to get a tag on your character. You building up your character. I think that was just a tag that Crawford had on his character to put him in a position to step into the ring with Errol Spence doing the Matrix and have everybody think that Errol Spence was fighting for Crawford's belt, when indeed Crawford was fighting for all of Errol Spence's belts, who was the current reigning, defending, undisputed 28 victories, 0 defeats. Now it's all making sense, man, where they was making up all those excuses. Now I got it. Oh, God, man, I feel so good. I feel like today, man, I feel like Thursday. This Thursday is different. Wow. I feel like I cracked the code, man. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's giving me super chats for cracking the code. What are y'all doing? I just cracked the code as to why they was making all those excuses. Those stank fans. This only boosts Crawford up going into this fight, because he not only beat Errol Spence, but he didn't really go in there with a title. He went in there and beat Errol Spence for all the freaking titles. You know what I'm saying? And then the IBF, right? The IBF was snatched from him. So in that case, that happened. They did steal the IBF. But as far as him going in there with one title, now Bosey Ennis just cracked the code, man. I appreciate you, Bosey, for cracking the code. You basically let us know you slipped up and glitched a little bit, and you said that Errol Spence was the undisputed champion. See, if you pay attention to the right people, you crack codes, man. I love it. I feel like my day already, even though, it's late morning, I feel like it's productive, bro. Joseph Bailey, what's good? Salute to you. MKB said Bosey is tripping. No, MKB, come on, man. Chill, bro. Come on, chill, man. Don't do him like that, man. That wasn't my purpose for showing the video. It's a learning. You know what I'm saying? It was a teachable moment, that MKB. They always talk about glitching. I even put glitching in my title. You know what I'm saying? They talk about glitching, man. He glitched. He dropped a gem that we didn't know why they was upset and furious the way they was, man. They tried to stop Crawford from getting this freaking fight August 3rd by putting Ennis and Jermell Charlo, who didn't want to step back in the ring, making a fool of themselves, and come to find out, they know how to keep some pretty decent secrets. Errol Spence was undisputed before he stepped in that July 29th, lost all his belts to Crawford. It takes one person to remind us that we are in the Matrix. All this time, I thought Crawford was in there in the welterweight division just knocking out his opponents. I really thought Jeff Horn was the freaking WBO champion. I really did, man. They had me, dog. They had me. Seriously, they had me. And just to think, 40-0. You know what I'm saying? No draws on this record, no majority decision, no split decisions. You know, on what, a 12-fight knockout streak? Just to think, I thought all of those fights was championship showcases. And Bozian has just let us know that no, Crawford never had a belt. Spence did all the heavy lifting. He was undisputed. So Spence, the Hall of Fame talk for Spence really comes into question now. Before I was saying that he's not really a first ballot Hall of Famer. But now finding out that he's an undisputed champion prior to July 29th, he may go down, man. You know what I'm saying? He became, you know, what, the first of the 4-belt era or something to that nature. You know what I'm saying? 147 pounds. I mean, yeah, he may be Hall of Fame worthy now since he was freaking undisputed. I like that, bro. For real, I like that. I like that. Now Spence, you know, the Aerosexuals have something to talk about. They have something to do debates about, you know, who would get in the Hall of Fame first, Errol Spence or Terrence Crawford. If Terrence Crawford goes up here and beat Marjamov, is it really a 4th division title? Or is it just him getting a gift from Turk Al Sheikh for whatever reason? You know what I'm saying? That's what they're going to do. Does anybody really know him like that with 11 fights? Crawford has way over half. Just like Crawford went in there against Spence and he had more knockouts than Spence had wins. They gotta say Crawford's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, dog. You know what I'm saying? Because really Spence had less experience. So they're gonna say, well, Spence was on the pound for pound list, but it wasn't somebody that had the amount of experience that Crawford has. And then they're gonna say Marjamov, if he gets these titles and beat him, he didn't have enough experience. So with that, and then they're gonna be pushing him harder because Boots has over 30 professional fights. And they're gonna say if he just fought Marjamov and beat him, he can go fight Boots, who has, you know, 31 professional fights. That's more so close to the Crawford's level because Crawford has 31 knockouts right now, from my understanding. So they're gonna say that's only right for Crawford to fight Boots Ennis because of the knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Because of the knockouts. He need to step up. He need to step up and fight somebody that's on his level. You know what I'm saying? 31 freaking knockouts, man. How many fights do you need? Yeah. And then the crazy part about Crawford being on this knockout streak, right, is the fact that his knockout percentage, it doesn't even crack 80%. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even crack 80%, Crawford's knockout percentage. But people look at 31 knockouts and they look what he's been able to do at the welterweight division, running up the tab. It's commendable. For real, it's commendable, bro. The Bozian is lost undisputed taste, man. Man, it's gonna be epic, man. You know, like it's a lot of things back then that's coming to light. Like they finding all these dinosaurs, you know, and just a lot of stuff that's back in the future that's encased in mud and stuff. And I think the biggest part of this whole thing is that they always say that we possibly have lived in the past at one point in time. So once they find the actual skeletal bones of Errol Spence back in the day, that's gonna change everything. Cause check this out. I'm just putting it out there, MKB and everybody else, right? Check this out. If they're able to locate the skeletal remains of the Spence that was back then, who was undisputed, and he's in the body that he is now, maybe they can take that skeletal system and bring Spence back to who he was back then, because back then he was undisputed. Maybe they can transfer some DNA, some bone marrow, something. put that in the new Spence, then we got a different type of history on our hands. Now it gets interesting. Now probably we'll see Spence coming back at 154, 160, new, improved, and see how Crawford or whoever contends with the new Spence, man. Because obviously he was an old soul. He's been here before because Bozy said it. Bozy said it, yo. Bozy said that freaking Errol Spence was undisputed. Now it makes all the sense in the world. It makes all the sense in the world. When he said that Errol, I was undisputed that night, makes me think he didn't try to get the other fights also. Well, they say they always wanted Terrence Bud Crawford. They always wanted him. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They always wanted that fight. As you seen on $1 Million Worth of Game, Boots was asleep, dreaming about whatever. And he said back in 2018 he was hunting for Crawford. In 2018, I was looking for you. I was looking for you back then. I wanted that fight back then. I was looking for you. And Crawford say, stop. You're sleepy. What if he really was looking for Crawford back then? But Boots really, his mindset is that he's thinking about his prior self. When Spence was undisputed. Maybe Terrence Crawford was a fighter that he wanted to fight for a title eliminated to get to Spence. Maybe that's how it was back then. Maybe he was looking for Bud to fight a title eliminated to get to the undisputed titles, which currently was reigning Errol Spence Jr. at the time. You never know. We just have to find the documentation back there to see what the rankings were, because not everything they put up, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to think about how far do we go back, because the 4-belt era wasn't back then. It was a 3-belt era. But we're not talking about natural civilization here. We're talking about the Matrix. Talking about the Matrix, shawty. We're talking about the Matrix, how they can manipulate, finesse, massage, you know what I'm saying, reconfigure. Like it, man. I like it. But when we come back to reality, we have to understand that Crawford is 147-pound undisputed, that it's real life. And also I'm very elated that he's getting in there in the ring and being able to represent this first fight card back, and it's super heavy, man. So by the time we get to the main event on August 3rd, I think people are going to be freaking so amped up to see what Crawford can do at 154 pounds, plus for him to pick up his 4th division championship. You know what I'm saying? That's grand right there, bro. That's history. That's grand. That further sets him up for bigger fights. He would have now leveled himself as far as divisional wins when it comes to championships with Canelo Alvarez. He's already surpassed Canelo when it comes down to undisputed divisions. So Crawford basically working. Don't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez all of a sudden now want to say, I want to jump in and have some fun. I'll fight Crawford now. No, I think Crawford should continue on his mission, attempt to unify the 154-pound division, and you're 3-time undisputed, the first to ever do it. So you're first at 2-time and 3-time. So I mean, to be honest, unless the Sheik is willing to put up like 60-70 million per fighter, I'll fight Canelo after you have. Because Canelo said he has nothing to gain. I don't gain nothing. Well, you got a fighter that's pound for pound best, 3 times undisputed. You definitely got something to gain, buddy. You definitely have something to gain. That may potentially happen. Everything is strategy. Everything is strategy. Let's talk about the other task at hand, y'all. That's making its rounds, unfortunately, at the expense of Team Haney. And that is the results that we was able to see, um, with the way Ron Garcia was able to go in there and handle business. Now, what people are talking about is that Devin Haney, who only experienced one defeat in his career, just one defeat, he's calling for a rematch with Ryan Garcia. So therefore, if he's calling for a rematch, why shouldn't he get it? Because people look at it like this. You chose to balloon up and wait against Regis, and people seen that. And you didn't have to go online and defend ballooning up and wait because you got the championship and Regis looked terrible. And they was on Regis' head more than they was on your head. Then you got with a team who was able to come up with the master plan, and they say we're gonna fight them size for size. So therefore, we're not gonna go really for the title. We don't care about that. We just want to be the first to put them on the trailer, so to speak, and ship them home. We want to be the first to hand him his only loss up to this point. And we want a guy who has portrayed himself to act like he was crazy, delusional, dysfunctional, mentally unbalanced. Yeah, you can do that, Ryan. You've been working on your acting skills. You can do that. So it just, the overall picture looks so bad for Haney because they thought Garcia, who said he was smoking and drinking. I don't believe that. Yeah, he was smoking and drinking all day. He went in there and basically shocked the boxing community. You can't shock the world, okay? Ryan Garcia, you can't shock the world with a fighter that they were saying that wasn't selling tickets, and he wasn't a big name. He's not pound for pound. That wasn't shocking the world. It's not like Ryan Garcia said, I want to fight Canelo, and he wanted to then beat Canelo and knocked him down several times. That's shocking the world. Regardless if Canelo has a couple of losses, it makes no difference. If Ryan Garcia, being in the low division he is, was to go out there and do that, that's shocking the world. But beating Devin, that wasn't shocking the world. You did shock the boxing community on how you made it look. But Team Haney, their strategy, they didn't have enough table meetings. It was people over there really preparing for them. They was coming up on a clever way on how to gain the advantage. That is an art of war, that Team Haney. I know Bill say he 50-0 in them streets. I understand where you coming from. But this time you should have used that street smart and turned it over to the ring smart. Because they pretty much played y'all so bad with the weight, having you drained down, coming there, and supposedly Ryan Garcia was 15 pounds heavier than Devin. He chose to weigh heavy on Devin early in the fight with holding, clenching, and all that. And then he started to let his hands go. You might consider it conserving energy, or whatever the case. But he put a beating on Devin. He made him look average. And he got the victory. Why are people up here talking about Devin don't deserve a rematch? I mean, come on. Deontay Wilder took punishment in his freaking second fight with Fury in February 2020 and came back at the end of when did he fight him? He came back at the of let me check. I know it wasn't 2020, 21. Yeah, he came back at the end of 2021, and he ended up going into the 11th round, where his second fight, the fight was stopped in 7. But he ended up going to the 11th round before he was stopped. So, come on, man. Ryan Garcia wasn't this incredible freaking puncher like that. Yeah, the opponents that he had knocked out, people weren't looking at them as anything special. He didn't knock out Tank. He didn't even drop Tank. So for him to go in here and drop Devin, who they said was chinny, all because of Jorge Linares, Well, some of them got they got what they wanted. They said, okay, he's chinny, this, that, and the other. But you know, with Ryan Garcia's speed and power, and possibly Devin being weaker fighter, he got dominated. I don't know, but one loss doesn't define a person to say ship him off into retirement, and he's still in his 20s. I mean, that's crazy, bro. That's just asinine. That it seemed like black fighters get that tag unless your name Errol Spence. Even some people, you know, that was cheering for Errol Spence said, "Nah, he should hang it up. He should hang it up." And then, you know, a couple more days later, they said, "Oh man, Errol Spence need a rematch at 154 to prove that he this, and this." Make up your mind. Real talk. Make up your mind what it is. Make up your mind. Smoke Session Sports and Entertainment in the building. Salute to you, man. I accept what transpired with Ryan and Devin. Do you think that Devin Haney's one loss, they should be talking about this hang it up talk? You know what I'm saying? I don't think so, man. I think, you know, just one loss. He go back to the lab. Floyd suggested, along with a lot of other people, that he get another set of eyes in the freaking corner. They have to really figure this out. Seriously, they have to figure this out, because I would want to see a rematch. And also, I'm pretty sure if Ryan Garcia didn't want to fight for the WBC title, the next fight shouldn't be at 140. They should just have a rematch, and the fight should be at a catchweight at 143, and then we can take it from there. But I've seen Garcia on some talk shows already, right? And the guy asked him about a rematch. He said, no, I think he's too damaged and this, that, and that. Listen, it's okay, Ryan. You're on top of the world right now. You're talking your shit, but you better win your next 3 to 5 fights, man. You better win your next 3 to 5 fights, because he's trying to make it seem like, oh, I didn't want to do that to him. That's why I told his dad to stop the fight. A part of this shit I just don't believe, man. You know, if you that confident, you need to go back in there and have a catchweight fight at 143, so we can pretty much get this settled. That's all you gotta do, big dog. That is all you have to do, people. Have a rematch at 143, and both of y'all go in there and fight for a non-title, because you didn't give a damn about the title the first time. You say you moving up to 47, and you can't make freaking 40. So have a catchweight fight at 143.5 or whatever the case may be. No rehydration clause, and let's see the rematch. I think it'll do pretty decent numbers, because people are curious to know, you know, if Ryan Garcia would have came in at 140 pounds, would this fight have provided us the action, provided us with that shock value, provided us with a glimpse at Ryan Garcia dominating a fighter so easily that's supposedly, and to many of us, was a better overall skill fighter, a boxer, than Ryan Garcia. I would like to see that. I don't agree with all this, you know, he's done, he should retire and all that shit, man. What are you talking? Come on, you sound stupid. Shout out to Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz some more, man. The OG in the building. I see you, man. But I don't agree with all that talk, man. If we're gonna start like shoveling graves and trying to push fighters into the hole, you know, just off one loss, why you didn't do that for Isaac Cruz? Oh, just because he didn't get stopped, huh? Well, Devin didn't get stopped either. Isaac Cruz take a loss, and then they'd be like, oh man, a champion was born. The champion was born. You know, a star was born, not a champion. A star was born. A star was born. Okay. What about Ryan Garcia though? You notice they didn't say that, right? They considering Ryan Garcia already to be a star. With Isaac Cruz, when he lost to Javante, a star is born. A star is born. They didn't say that about Ryan Garcia. Because the difference between Ryan Garcia and Esau Cruz, yeah, from what we've seen, Esau Cruz, you know, he has a user-friendly style. Ryan Garcia doesn't have a user-friendly style. I don't care what nobody say. He pretty much held and clenched for 6 rounds, and then he came out there and was able to land something significant. Hold on for a second, y'all. All right. Yo, I'm gonna drop the link. I want to get y'all take on this. Should Devin Haney, should Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney rematch? You know what I'm saying? Should they rematch? What you think the requested weight should be if they do rematch? And then for the Crawford fight, I don't know if y'all understand that potentially Crawford, after this August 3rd fight, potentially will fight, you know, Sebastian Fundora in December. That's big news, man. That's really big news. I ain't gonna lie. Because we have 2 fights to look forward to. And then in 2025, potentially Crawford will fight the IBF champion. You know what I'm saying? Peep this out though. Sebastian Fundora is the WBC and the WBO champion. Crawford wins the WBA and the interim WBO. He fights Fundora. That fight will be for the WBC, the WBA, and the WBO, y'all. So in 2025, y'all, Crawford will only have to fight for the IBF and become super welterweight undisputed, man. Come on, do y'all understand means? That means he would have did this the most genius way possible in becoming super welterweight undisputed. He would have fought for the WBA and the WBO interim by activating his WBO, and then he goes and beat Fundora. That's the WBC, WBA, and the WBO title. Now, the only fight he has remaining for the 2025 calendar is the IBF title. That's amazing. I ain't gonna lie to you. And right now, that's Murtazayev. If he's still champion, I'm pretty sure they probably gonna have him fight somebody. But anyway, he'll be fighting for the IBF title. That's one of the best. Right, that would be one of the best routes that we have seen in a long time. If Crawford's able to take that route, pick up the WBA, attach himself to the WBO, and then fight the actual WBC and WBO champion. But once again, y'all, Sebastian Fundora can bow out. He can bow out. But there's a video out there that Sebastian Fundora said he wanted to fight Crawford now. You know what I'm saying? Let me see, can I get you that video? Let me see, can I get you that video? Yeah. Let me see right quick. Hey, peep this out, y'all. Now, you know, Sebastian may not be the one who is supposedly ducking, but his people.
Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
Thank you. Gail Falkenthal, NY Fights.
Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
You saw how his trainer was looking at him? He was like, no, it's not right. You went against our command. See, that's why I respect Fundora. Fundora really want to fight Crawford. You know what I'm saying? But Al Haymon and everybody else, they want to keep that title in-house. So that's why I put it out there. If by chance Turk Al-Sheikh, who is now working with the PBC, and supposedly the money was good, right, for him to bow in, and you think about what Sampson was crying about, that Crawford is a no likable style and all this. Now that the PBC is have fighters on the Turk Al-Sheikh's card, August 3rd, it may be able to produce this fight with Sebastian Fundora and Crawford. Before, Samson Likowicz was just up there whining and bitching that Crawford don't have none and he's a no likable style, he can't sell a ticket. And they want Zoo. Well, guess what? Zoo is on the August 3rd card against Virgil Ortiz. So Samson bullshit he was talking, that's been put to bed. They laid that shit to bed. It's done. Because Zoo is fighting Virgil Ortiz on this card. But you know what I don't want to happen? Is that for Crawford not to be able to move forward for another championship fight with Sebastian Fundora, being he does hold that WBC and WBO. If the Turk is going to be in charge of that right there, more than likely to happen. You know what I'm saying? More than likely to happen. Crawford focus on this fight, but the undisputed titles are right there with Big Turk back in boxing to him. Yeah, for sure. But look at it this way, MKB, like, is he just, you know, notice the boxers that he allowed to fight on Turk card, they're not champions. I'm not saying they haven't been champions. They're not reigning current champions, right? So I'm curious to know if it's gonna take any type of directional change. If you know, the way Crawford comes in here and look against Madrimov, would that somewhat influence Al Haymon to say, I really don't want him fighting Fundora because we got 2 belts, and either Fundora's gonna have to come off the WBO title, which would give Crawford 2, but it'd even be sweeter if he can fight Fundora, who is, holding that WBC title. The only way Crawford's gonna unify for Undisputed, of course, he has to fight the WBC belt and the IBF belt. And right now, Fundora has 2 of them. Crawford would have 1 plus the interim. So if Samson come out there, no, you got to think about it. It's all about, they want to fight Tim Tszyu, how Tim Tszyu is going to look at him against Virgil Ortiz, and also, Crawford, if he goes in here and destroys Madrimov, shit, Samson might just, no likable style. I don't care what he did to Madrimov, no likable style. Shout out to Jones on deck, man. What's good with it, big dog? I see you in the building. I spit my coffee out with that trainer expression. That trainer like, boy, you know what I'm saying? Hey, didn't he know, dog? Hey, did you hear us before we came out here? Hey. He over there. Fundora was up there ignoring his that. Fundora was just looking out there. He said, no, man, I want to fight Crawford, man. I think he's the best fighter out there. I want to fight him. I want to test my skills against Crawford because Fundora knows, he's going to try to go in there and beat Crawford. Seriously. He's going to try to go in there and beat Crawford. Fundora's trying to go in there and be the best, man. He said, you don't lost your mind. You didn't tell me that in the fight. Hey, the conversation was different in the locker room, dog. You ain't lying. The conversation was different, bro. Fundora, aka Big Funyun, say, I want to have some battle fun with Crawford. Time for Crawford to go legendary status, undisputed, right there for the talking. It is, man. Legendary status. Now we got to talk about the greatest of all time talk. One of the greatest to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? He said he want to leave a legacy that hasn't been left. He want to be the one who did it first. So if you look at how Samson was roaring and all this, he kind of got a little bit of the slice of the pie, right? He didn't get the whole slice. He got a little bit of the slice because Fundora was able to keep the belt for now. But Crawford goes in here, and I know Samson is hoping Crawford loses. You know what I'm saying? Because look, he want Crawford to lose so he can go over there and say, we know Madrimov don't have no likable style like Crawford. He was victorious, he's better, and we would like to unify the WBC and WBO, with the WBA champion Madrimov. You know what I'm saying? Samson's whole tone would be different. But let Crawford go in there and mop the floor. I'm talking about good mopping, mop and glow. He give him the mop and glow maintenance. You know what I'm saying? He gives Madrimov the mop and glow maintenance package. Samson is gonna go over. He wasn't nothing. He's 11 fights. No likable style. Madrimov wasn't nobody. Please. Let Crawford don't come up out of there the winner. And they're gonna be the first ones trying to freaking fight Madrimov. And then, they're gonna be up there like, now we want to fight for the IBL. They just don't want Crawford to have this route, man. But I think with Sebastian Fundora, he hasn't had no huge paycheck yet. Him and his sister both box. I know that has to be expensive. And he would definitely like to step in the ring with Crawford for a unification bout. That I think Fundora would definitely hit the $1 million mark with his purse. And that's something he want to do. For real. I think that's what he wants to do, man. I respect what Fundora got going on. You know, Jones said that dude going to be bad for negotiations. Yeah, but check this out. Crawford got Turk Al-Sheikh behind him. You gotta understand him. He got Turk Al-Sheikh behind him with this money. I think the Turk is going to try to chaperone Crawford all the way to undisputed. He really wants to be a part of this, man. He wants to be a part of this, man. You can't see it? Excellency wants to be a part of this. The royalty wants to be a part of this. He wants to be a part of the Crawford undisputed run and history at 154 pounds. He's going to give Sebastian Fundora a paycheck that he can't refuse, and Sampson is going to sit there and digest it. For real. Because at the end of the day, isn't Al Pooper attached to freaking Fundora? You got to look at the money, how the monetary value is enticing these fighters, man. And I made a point. I say, yeah, it's some PBC fighters on the card, but none of them are champions right now. Sebastian Fundora, hey, he is a champion. Not just a champion, he is the unified champion. So, you know, when Crawford makes his debut August 3rd and get the straps, then, you know, we're going to see what the language is like, because they said already December 31st, potentially Crawford is going to be fighting Sebastian Fundora for the unification. They had to put that out there with the green light blinking that they already been in talks. I mean, they already had to, you know, talk with Team Fundora, the WBO, about, you know, present documentation that he was injured, what he had to do in order for him to keep that belt and not be stripped. So Crawford, he has to come see Crawford in one way, and that's for the WBO title. What he selects to do with the WBC, is he gonna allow Sampson to give him a detour and say, forget the money, we want to keep the belt? Or Sebastian Fundora gonna stand up for himself and say, do you know they're talking about, you know, giving me the highest payday I ever made in my boxing career, which will help me and my family out, and you just doing this for your own selfish reasons because you don't like Crawford? You know, Fundora's gonna have to stand up, bro. He's a towering inferno. He's gonna have to stand up and freaking rain down hellfire on Sampson and let him know, I want the fight, bro. Stop sitting me up here and making me look like I'm scared. I'm a punk. You know, I'm not trying to be a champion. He got to stand up to his manager, man. Not all that freaking, I'm a dictator, you do what I say, don't be making all these moves without me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, he gonna have to have Sampson with this look.
Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
Thank you. Gail Falkenthal, NY Fights.
Terrence Crawford is the best fighter in the world. I would like to fight him.
Boy, he went against Al Hammond wishes, didn't he? Shout out to Fundora. That's why I rock with Fundora, man. Until he fight Crawford. I mean, Fundora's a warrior, bro. Fundora's a warrior. Unlike this guy. Hell no. Hell no. And that is the reason why you got that ass whooping. That ass whooping Crawford gave you was for me too. It was for me too. You know what I'm saying?
Bomb Squad!
Y'all better wake y'all ass up there. Wake your ass up there. It's Thursday, y'all. Y'all better wake up. I put the link out there. Nobody clicked the link because they don't want to talk about Devin Haney. I get it. They don't want to talk about Ryan Garcia. I get it. Get it. Y'all at work too. Yeah, I gotta look at my brothers, my sisters. Yeah, they at work, and it's about to be lunchtime, so they trying to prep the easy exit. I get it. That's why nobody. I get it. I got it. You know what I'm saying? I got it. Y'all at your place of employment. I got it. Don't say less. Say less. Say less, man. Y'all don't want to ruin a good thing right now. Y'all about to bounce out. It's getting thirsty. I told you what my people doing when it get thirsty. Thursday to prep for Friday. You know what I'm saying? They got to make sure they plan these lunch breaks accordingly, y'all. Let's go through some of these topics out here, man, that I seen. Let's see who this is. Shout out to Marlon King Boxing in the building. MKB on deck. What it do, Ron?
What's good, WCS, man? I was just sitting here minding my own business with my earbuds in, and then Wilder screamed, and I was like, oh, man, I got to call in now. Scared the hell out of me, yo. Man, that was loud. I forgot how loud Wilder's roar was. You know what I mean? That's crazy.
I actually edited the video with the volume turned up a little bit higher than usual. So, you
know okay. Man, that's like an alarm clock, man. I was like, yeah.
I had to wake y'all up, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to wake y'all up.
Yeah.
So first of all,
man,
I've heard you on the other panels, of course, and giving your input, man. I just want to get your take on, what do you primarily think, if they was to come in at 143 and fight, kind of give me your assessment. Would that make a difference if they did the catch weight in the rematch?
Yeah, I think it would make a difference because there wouldn't be no excuses involved as far as I couldn't say that Devin Haney was like weight drain. I can't say that no more. You know what I mean? Because they both are at the kind of similar weight. You know what I mean? Like whereas though they might have had strengthening and conditioning, but they might not have to lose all of their their strength or whatever during the during the whatever they call it, like the draining process or whatever they do. You know what I mean? But I would be content with it. I was content with this really too, but it was just the betting thing, like because I bet on it, and I was like, oh man. So I kind of felt like cheated. You know what I mean? Because I wasn't prepared to understand that he was going to be 143. You see what I'm saying? Like that didn't happen to the last minute. It threw me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but I want to know, like,
yeah,
I heard what you said about the 143. And they said that Ryan Garcia was 15 pounds heavier than Devin Haney. So being that Devin had to, do the professional thing and drop weight all the way down to 140, what you seen as far as the domination of Ryan Garcia, do you think Devin might have a better chance in the rematch, or you believe Ryan Garcia will go in there and dominate just the same?
Well, I would think he still might have like more power than even if they were at 143 apiece. I think that Ryan would still have more power than him. So I just feel like that Devin needs to really like channel, trying to find his grown man power. Like I was saying, like how he should probably do some woodwork, chopping some wood to kind of maybe help him be more accurate. If he don't have power, at least it help him be more gritty and durable because he'd been chopping wood a long time. That kind of helps your forearms and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing. And he got to use the ring, so he would have to outbox him, and he would have to have a little bit more pop on the shot. So I think that's where the chopping wood would come in for him to kind of make it an even fight at 143. Because I think Ryan is stronger than him. Has more power in his hands and speed. So Devin has to have more timing and more ring generalship. You know what I mean? That's and more pop on the shot in order to, make it whereas though it's a convincing win. Because I think now the judges will favor Ryan in a fight if it was close. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because I hear he's making his rounds on these podcasts now. And he's saying that Devin Haney is damaged goods and, he don't want to rematch him because, he's done. He's never be the same. and that's why he was trying to get his dad to stop the fight and all that. So, with one loss, what's your observation on why people are trying to ride Devin off, but yet they want Errol Spence to come back? Errol Spence, in my opinion, got beat down worse than that.
I think I said that yesterday on the show that I was on because I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think it's more of like because a lot of people don't like Bill Haney. I don't know if
Yeah.
they necessarily hate Devin, but I think they do kind of like want to see his downfall. And like I think like when you're a strong person who commit to what you do, a lot of people want to just see you fail. So they'll say anything, to get you out of the game or get you out of your head as thinking you're a champion. So I chalk that up to just being a lot of people being hateful. And it's like if it's a different culture, they just want to see him fail. That's what I chalk it up to.
I got you.
Yeah.
Well, definitely, I don't think any word is gonna come out anytime soon about a rematch. But they still got that buzz going. With Ryan
Yes, sir.
Garcia, and Devin has made he's spoken out since then. And he put it out there that he wants a rematch. Whether they give him a rematch, there's people saying he don't deserve a rematch. I can't see how that's the case when he made weight and he's a champion.
Exactly. And that was my whole thing. Like after even Ryan won, I said, congratulations, Ryan. And I hope you guys can keep it respectful. So I see Devin is trying to keep it respectful. And I hope Ryan, because I haven't heard anything Ryan said after the fight, but I hope he is trying to keep it respectful too, because these guys have a great, rivalry. So why not do it again? People gonna buy it, man. I like guys in now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
So if not Ryan, who would you like to see him fight? Should he immediately go into a fight unification in the 140-pound division, or just fight somebody that's in his sanctioning body?
I think that's the thing. I don't know what sanctioning body he's in, so I'm gonna say weight
Devin
division.
Is WBC.
Oh, you talking about Devin? I was thinking about Ryan. I'm sorry about that. Devin. I think this fight is mandatory right now. He needs a confidence builder. Like whatever they give him, like for me right now, I think his dad needs to just kind of stay off of social media, and I really think they should just go on like a wilderness retreat or something, and really find out how they're gonna get his confidence back and like what they need to do. I don't think the gym is totally the main thing they need to do. I really think they need to just find each other and get in more sync. Like the whole thing with the chopping of the wood, I think it gives them a chance to be with nature and also each other. They are father and son. So for me, that would be important for Devin, is to find himself and then take his mandatory, but come back with more and use that stuff that he learned with his dad from whatever they do to train. And then, take a good tune up to get confidence and see how that power works out. Because he's in a different division now, and these guys going to be hunting for him now that they see that he's vulnerable.
Hey, Bill might tell you, MKB, some shit like, hey man, I brought my son up this far. He ain't never chopped no wood. We don't chop wood from Oakland. You know what I'm saying? We don't chop no wood. We already got where we at without chopping the wood. We just need to go back, look at the film and everything, reassess the game plan. If they're gonna have the fight at 143, come back and fight at 143. It's gonna be a different fight. That's pretty much what Bill said. Hey, Bill, we don't need to chop no wood, man. We good.
I don't think that 3 pounds is gonna help his power. I really don't, and I hope Bill don't go that route. But that's exactly how he is. He will probably be like that because that's the way he was with Floyd the other day. I gotta go because I don't want my boss to cuss me out over here.
For sure, man. Appreciate you pulling up, bro. Continue to hold it
I
down,
appreciate you having me on. Shout
salute,
out to World Combat Sports. Like, subscribe, share, join.
I appreciate you, man. No doubt.
No doubt.
Shout out to Toby Bartlett, Mr. International on deck. Salute WCS and the hottest chat in the YTC. We're global, baby. We're global. Always better to be global than just local. He is in the building. What's good with it, Toby? Salute to you. Shout out to Detroit Boxing Footprint. Has made their way into the building. Detroit, D-Town. What up, WCS? Good point about nature and wood chopping. It wasn't my point. It was actually MKB. He mentioned that yesterday on the Mac Mob. And chopping wood and all that, it does build strength for real. It builds up those forearms, those wrists, that grip strength. One thing I work a lot on is grip strength. You know what I'm saying? A lot of exercises I do consist of grip strength. And something I learned a while ago, I have pretty good grip strength. I mean, you can have grip strength and in situations that catch people off guard. But anyway, chopping wood for Devin, it's all about if you want to swing that axe. You know what I'm saying? If you really want to swing that axe and get dirty, and because chopping wood ain't no joke. I ain't gonna lie, chopping wood is no joke. That's why you see some of these boxers with the sledge. You know what I'm saying? They back there hitting that tire. Because where does your power come from? Your power come from your back. Your lats. Your entire back. That's where your power come from, bro. Hey, shout out to the hottest in the game. The news by Shaw News. He's went viral. Bill Haney dropped his name in the midst of the whirlwind. Hey, what's good with you, bro? Good morning to you.
Yo, just chilling. June 8th is around the corner. The return of the slime, Jihad Tucker. We got the poster giveaway, the ticket giveaway. Just all you got to do is follow the instructions, man. Screenshot your purchase tickets with using the code Tucker promo, and I'll ship you out one of them posters. And also, the ticket giveaway. And I appreciate you, Combat. What you did behind the scenes yesterday as well.
Yeah, you already know what it is, man. I see, y'all, you constantly moving. Shout out to Wise Owl Boxing. I see you always rep them.
Yeah,
You're a representative. Yeah, you're a representative of that. And shout out to Team Jihad Tucker, man. Like he said, June 8th, they back in the building, man. Electric Boogie is back to it. So, enlighten the people on, how everything been going with the training, man, with Team Tucker.
Oh, well, if y'all follow his page, y'all see he's down there in Houston. What happens in the gym stays in the gym. But he's been sparring guys like Truck Simpson, Tiger Johnson, Vito, guys that are known, right?
Yeah.
But what happens in the gym stays in the gym. Just know June 8th is going to be another WCS said electric boogie performance.
And I seen you out there. You go to the gyms. A lot of content creators are not embedded in the gyms, but you in the gym with some future stars. You got $1 Million Molly, 4-time national champion. You got Jihad Tucker, like you said, he's over there in Houston, getting that lab work in, getting some good work. So, how special is it to be in that type of environment, man, where you're a part of something that's continued to blossom?
Man, I'm just blessed, man. Especially as somebody with a small channel that was overlooked. To have 2 diamonds in my stable, right? That are my family members. I'm just blessed, man, to be the media marketing agent all over ESPN. I'm just blessed to have a pay-per-view $1 million promoter, manager, trainer scream out my name. I'm just blessed, man. God is good.
Speaking of that person who mentioned your name, right? It was a reason because, you have content everywhere out here. You really, turned up the creativity part of your distribution and how you putting your media out there. What do you think that you said that struck him? It don't matter if it struck a nerve or it struck him in a way to say, oh, he made some sense.
Well, I think, like you said, I'm popping it, man. Like you said, I'm a part of a team. Jihad Tucker got signed at 17 underneath the bright lights. And I was an instrumental part of that, right? So I guess, like I said, shout out to Bill, man. Undisputed, 2-time champion, 2-division champion. They laid the blueprint out. And I guess, like I said, Jihad entered the stage at 17, the big stage. Top 5 takedown, fighting top 5 guys and middleweights and all this, all before the age of 21. So, players recognize players, I guess. Like I said, Bill, undisputed and all that. So when I talk my shit, I'm popping my shit, You know, top 5 takedown, Jahad Tucker, man. I'm a part of that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? Also, one of the trainers in that camp too, his father, is went viral because he had a fighter in his vehicle that he was motivating, and he said,
Yes,
"You want to be special." You know what I'm saying? You want to be special, or you want to be a BIBI. And
yeah,
and the fighter jumped back out the vehicle and went on a run. That's
yeah,
sometimes you have to do that. You have to spark a fire under these fighters, man.
yeah. Shout out to Danny. That was Danny. Danny's a young amateur coming up underneath us as well. Shout out to him. And then we also got $1 Million Marley. Like I said, I feel I'm just grateful, man. A lot of the stuff that I talk. See, a lot of people talk shit, but they can't show it. I talked my stuff, man. And now I have the stats to show it. Marley Tucker is the #1 fighter in the nation. I remember we was riding up and down Las Vegas Boulevard, and I was going to the Mayweather gym. I was going to all these gyms promoting him back then when he was 10 years old, and people were looking at me like I was crazy. But now the stats is out there. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't lost in a national tournament in 3 straight years. So who's looking crazy right now? The people that
True.
didn't believe what I was saying.
And that's why I salute you on being the hottest in the game, because I knew where you was at, and I always tell you this, like, I know you in your 40s, but I speak on it as if, from a military standpoint, when you don't have to tell somebody over and over again to do things, that's the people that you have in leadership positions, because you can tell them something once and they put layers and layers on top of it that's beneficial to the unit. And I think you've done that with your fighter and your team behind the scenes. So I keep emphasizing this, the cats that's looking at numbers in a channel. This cat is doing something different. He's multitasking. A lot of you guys are not even within his grid square when it comes to his knowledge and how to make stuff run behind the scene. Even with branding himself with the CMOS and the brand and everything else, and then dealing with Jahad Tucker and Jamali Tucker, promoting them, going to the gym, even getting his daughters involved. It's a multitasker, man. And I always tell you, man, I'm proud of the growth. And you can continue to shine, and people gonna tune in. They may not hit the like button when they tune in to Shaw News, but they definitely understand that, hey, this dude's serious.
And listen, I don't really care about the views, cause like it's not who views but who views, right? Because for me to not do no views, Bill and them just fought at the Barclays Center on 420, man. He mentioned my name. I don't do views though, but he was the main event headliner, 420, and he mentioned my name. So
True.
that says about my views right there.
And then also, when you used to be Jackal Fitness, but now you're going by the sauce.
Oh,
That
yeah,
means people know who you are with the new brand. You did
yeah,
enough for people to understand, like, okay, that's the sauce right there. I remember at one point in time, I was back there when they used to call you Jackal Fitness. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And then they recognize you strictly now as the sauce. So you did your part, man. You know what I'm saying?
I
You continue to do
appreciate
your
you and
part
all.
and build.
I appreciate you and all the nuggets you gave me with the photography and the different tools that you helped me to incorporate into the toolbox as well.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Teamwork makes the dream work, man. And we definitely looking forward to Jahad Tucker getting
Yeah,
in there. And it's only going to be a matter of time before Jamali Tucker, that I hope I'm still healthy and everything to see that introduction into the professional ranks.
yeah. He's
Because,
he's a young celebrity already, man. Unfortunately, it was my birthday, so I wasn't in attendance with the team and the rest of the guys that was there. But the amount of people that was coming up to Morley at the Barclays Center, you would have thought he was on the undercard. There was
mm,
undercard fighters moving around in there, but more people were coming up to Morley. He had laid it down in the Barclays on the undercard.
yeah, Marley does know how to carry himself just like Jahad. They do carry themselves like professionals. You know what I'm saying? They do. And I think $1 Million Marley is just a bit more quieter and reserved a little bit until his hands start to become very belligerent.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
You know,
He got,
he
he got,
has a temper. He has a temper when he inside the square, dog.
yeah, he got that switch. He's calm, collective outside the ring, but inside that square, man, he's a cold-blooded killer, man. He's gonna hurt you. Mean hard punches, aka Joe Dini special. Break his ass up, make him feel the hurt, man. Mean hard punches.
So I want to ask you about the, a little bit of the situation that took place recently and everything that we seen, we witnessed that played out with Team Haney. You mentioned how Bill, mentioned your name based off something that might have touched him in a certain way that made sense. You know what I'm saying? But with Devin Haney suffering his first loss and us knowing how Ryan Garcia lost the tank in his first loss, do you feel that immediate rematch is something that should be, mandatory? Or do you think Devin should fight somebody else outside of Garcia at a catch weight? Like maybe him fighting Garcia in an immediate rematch at 143. Do you think it'll make a difference?
Nah, I think they fought. A media rematch ain't needed. They could always go back. What I'm saying. Like I think personally, if I was Team Haney, I would tell him lick your wounds. Get you a I wouldn't say a soft touch, but get you a rebound fight, man. Because going into that fight, the I'm not even gonna say hype, but the build up around him was the face of boxing, all of this stuff, right? And to go out there and have a performance like you had, I think you need to get your confidence back. I'm not saying that he lost his confidence, but you see the memes out there, you see everything that's going on. I think he needs to come back and make a statement. Now, necessarily jumping in there with Ryan Garcia, maybe he can make that statement, but I think if he, does that with somebody else, the buildup is already there. They fought, and the fight played out how it played out, so it can only get bigger. But hey, what do I know, right?
A good point. Good point. It can only get bigger, and that's unfortunate that they did have two fights in Aussie. You know what I'm saying? They got the lightweight undisputed, and then they moved up and ballooned up in weight and really had a dominating performance against Regis, made him look crazy. You actually interviewed his trainer. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Evans,
Yeah, Evan actually got some get back. I seen his video of him talking about he was looking for Bill.
Where you at, Bill? Bill, where you at?
But Bill did show up. Bill showed up, and it wasn't what we thought it would be. Bill showed up with Floyd Mayweather. I want to get your take on that, man. What's your take on that?
I just think, like I said, I put that video out, the content. I think that was popping and going all wrong. I just think it was popping and going all wrong. These are two successful multi-million-dollar promoters, fathers, managers, in the game, and for them to, they lead the culture, and for them to, give it up the way they gave it up, man. About their kids and the streets and all that. Poor example, man. This is a poor example.
Let me ask you this though. Floyd Mayweather asked him, did he need help with his son? And we heard rumor mill that Floyd potentially may have leaked the sparring, which is just sparring, like you said earlier. What happens in the gym stays in the gym. With this particular, sparring match, lead up to the fight. Do you think, that the team Haney kind of had awareness that they was getting help from Floyd, based off his last fight with Duarte? Do you think Floyd really kind of showed Ryan the game plan on how to go in there and beat Devin? Because once upon a time, they were saying that Devin was going to be the next Floyd.
Yeah, I think so. I think, you just hit the nail on the hammer with that, man. That's what it really is rooted in. They have history. Remember, because one of the original coaches was Floyd Sr. Floyd Sr. was the original one that co-signed Devin, and then they went their way, and it is what it is. But then that the sparring that you're talking about with Tank Davis. You know, it was always rumors about the sparring, the footage, and then that footage came out during the promos of this fight. You know, it's just, you know, it's a touchy subject that you know that those two individuals, those two families, no, you know, it's deeper than what we are being privileged of seeing.
That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that we didn't see from the outside, but you know, we know both of them have familiarity with one another. They've been around each other for quite some time, man. Um, you know, we had enough that was going on with Devin losing the way he did, and then to have, you know, Floyd Mayweather and Bill Haney going at each other, and then bringing the kids into it, and you know, Floyd is a mouthpiece when he wants to. You know, he asked
Yeah,
Bill, do he need help with his son? You know, do you
yeah,
need help with your son? You know what I'm saying? I mean, let me know, because
yeah.
pretty much what I told Ron to do, it worked out.
Yeah.
You know,
You know,
he
I
got it
just
done.
think, man, both of those guys are the same, man. If you know, you know, like they have the same type of ego. They both gonna pop their shit, you know, and it's just unfortunate, man. You know, it's just unfortunate that they bumping heads. Because I think they could make a lot of money together. You know, if they put their egos aside, and you know, they if they came to the table together, they could make a lot of money. But a lot of times when you have guys who are the same and they're ego driven, this is what happens.
I think Bill made a good point though. Bill said, you know what I'm saying, he was 50-0 in the streets, but more so he reiterated to Floyd that it's a lot of dudes over there in Vegas that's struggling. Like, why
Mm,
you ain't putting back into the community? Why you ain't injecting all that success that you got into the community? Why you ain't raising these fighters up? You ain't doing nothing. And you heard Bud. I've heard Bud say this before. He said the ones before him, didn't tell them about the game, didn't teach them the game. You know what I'm saying? So was that more so relatable with Floyd Mayweather? Because you can't find anybody that Floyd's taught the game to.
You know, well, Combat, you know, right? I'm trying to stay politically correct and not say the wrong things because you know how Floyd is, man. You know, Floyd is Floyd, man. And I think Bill just put it out there, and Bill being who he is, it you know, more people heard it, right? That's all I'm gonna say. More people heard it now that Bill has said it, but this is nothing new. You know, this is nothing new. I remember when we was going to get signed, and I'm not gonna throw the fighter out there underneath the bus, but he told us, he specifically told us, whatever you do, do not sign with Mayweather. Like
Mm,
clear as day. Clear as
okay.
day. He said, stay clear away from Mayweather. Do not sign with Mayweather. And this was 4 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
So, you know, it is what it is, man. Floyd is Floyd, man. You know, Floyd is Floyd. And I think Bill said what a lot of people want to say, but are
Yeah,
afraid to
true.
say,
I
you
agree.
know, are afraid to say. And Bill, you know what it is? Bill is a little bit in his feelings, and people that's in their feelings, they don't give a fuck. And Bill, that's what it was, man. His son had just lost. You know, the other pictures were surfacing with Floyd going like this, and Ryan coming out saying Floyd told him to, you know, go in there 3 pounds heavy and all this.
Hmm.
So, you know, it was a volcano waiting to erupt.
And the lava flowed, bro, because that
Yeah,
3 pounds, it just seems like that was the master plan right there. And Devin couldn't do anything about it. And then, you know, you look at it though, weight doesn't have anything to do with skills. It just seems like they didn't have an answer. Bill didn't have an answer. And that's why people saying, I'm not saying fire your dad. I'm not saying fire your dad, but you need somebody else in the corner. Do you agree with that?
yeah. I do. I think that's what might have sparked something too when I said that, because I was just speaking from a journalistic standpoint, because when you watch the Lomachenko fight, and Devin tells his father, trainer, coach, it's not working. He figured it out. He knows, right? And then when you watch this fight, Bill's telling him to stick to the plan, stick to the game plan. But that left hook was landing. So the game plan needed to be adjusted, and it wasn't.
True. And that's what Team Haney emphasized too. They say all you have is a left hook.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was able to land that left hook out the clinch.
Yeah.
Easy. You know what I'm saying? Just it's so easy. It was so quick, right, left.
Yeah.
It was almost like the Deontay Wilder knockout of Fury in the first fight in the 12th round. He hit him with a right and then zipped it up with a left. And Ryan Garcia did the same thing with Devin, man. It was quick too. I ain't gonna lie. You know, his hand speed was there.
Oh man, it's potent, man. It was. I listen. To be honest, and a lot of people talking about this too. I don't think he ever recovered, man. From when that first one landed on him in the first round,
Yeah.
and his knees buckled in, man. That threw him off, man, for the whole night. Like the next couple of rounds, he had his bearings. He was getting busy, but he still wasn't there. Like he felt that power, man. He felt it. And then from the 7th round, like, you know, Harvey Doc, man, shout out to the brother, man, you know, looking out for the brother, man. But it was obvious, man. And I see Paulie Malignaggi ran with the sauce with that. You know, me and you talk behind the scenes about that. But it was like that the 7th round said a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know, I really wanted to go hard, but I'm like, you know what? Sticking on code, the brother's gonna work it out, man. You know, we seen Lawrence Cole do it. Stop! You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah.
I ain't mad at Harvey Doc, man. You know, Harvey did what he had to do.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. You know, Harvey Doc got the praise for the way he handled Spence Crawford, and then, you know, other fights that he's been a part of. So he's respected. But, you know, Harvey let them cats, you know, slow dance for freaking 6 rounds, man. They was clinching each other and all that, bro.
Yeah.
I just couldn't understand that.
Was it if I'm not mistaken, was Harvey Doc the ref for Caleb Plant and Benavidez too?
Yeah, man. Harvey Doc was the freaking referee for Caleb Plant and David Benavidez, bro.
That was another one where that was another one where a fighter got excessive holding without no point deduction or, you know, real warnings.
I told you, you know, Kenneth Bayless retired. And I think that Harvey Doc picked up Kenny Bayless freaking you know, eyesight. Because Kenny Bayless without his glasses, he act like he didn't see a lot of stuff, man. Especially when Floyd Mayweather was in the ring.
Yeah. Well, listen, it could have been worse, man. We could have had my man that stopped the Rolly fight, man.
Tony Weeks.
Tony Weeks.
Tony Weeks, boy, he don't say stop. He just wave his hands.
It could have been Tony Weeks.
Shit, Tony Weeks just waved his hand. It's over, done with it.
Yeah, Tony Weeks is different, man.
Tony Weeks your assessment on the fight card, bro. August 3rd, man, is gonna be heavy.
Oh, you know man, that listen,
Tim Zoo, man, crazy.
Man, history. That's all I'm gonna say. History, man. Like so many different promoters under one, you know, fight card, and the fights are not like BS fights, man. You know, they're not BS fights, man. I'm looking forward to that, man.
Yeah, you know? I'm looking forward to a lot of those fights, and you know, why do you think that Al Heyman chose to surrender and allow his fighters? Because I think I might have talked to you. You might have said inactivity or whatever, and I told people that none of them fighters that's on the card are champions. Not that they won previous champions, but why do you think you know, Al Heyman allowed himself to, you know, bend the knee and do business with the Sheik?
Listen, the Sheik got the money, man. The money. Listen, and from the looks of it, right, and from what my sources are saying, and you know, I think I got, you know, respectable sources in the game. They don't have the funds, and they're not trying to put up the funds. And if you know how Al rolls, Al is an OPP type of guy, other people's paper. Why not? The Sheik is putting up the bread, man.
True. You know, good point. And you know, as people don't understand, and he's getting a percentage from his fighters,
of course,
from whatever the Sheik is giving him.
Of course.
So he ain't losing.
Nah, not at all. Not 12 years a slave, aka the Pooba. Pooba don't play, man.
You know, people are like, oh man, he doing business with the PBC. You gotta understand. Yeah, the Sheik may be putting up them dollars, but Al's collecting on the back end.
I was getting this. I don't know. I'm just gonna put a number out there. You heard me. I'm just putting a number out there. Al's getting his 20% off top. And
Mm,
you add that up with, I think, what is it's 7 PBC fighters
seven.
on that card.
Yeah.
So I know one particular card, Al is getting 40% minimum.
Ooh.
With
Okay.
Abner and Leo Santa
And Leo
Cruz,
Santa
man.
Cruz, what?
Those are both of his guys. So that's
Oh
40%.
wow.
He's damn near walking away with 50,
Wow.
with that one right there, you know?
So Al definitely is not struggling for his next meal, bro.
Nah, not at all, man. That is Al. That is Al Michael Bivens, Boys to Men. Al has the music industry contracts, man.
I
You are
wonder.
signed to
Yeah.
a production company to a production company.
Toby Bartlett said the news by Shaw News salutes Shaw, Jahai, $1 Million Molly Tucker, UK Army. It's slime time, baby. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
salute.
Always give shout out to Toby, man. Support, Shaw News.
Yeah, shout out to
Um,
Toby and the UK Army. Yeah,
um,
Marley got it going on. Did y'all see Marley's hand speed? Marley's nice on that speed bag, man. He
yeah,
ain't
it
no
was.
joke, man.
What'd you say? It was playing the drums, right?
Playing the drums, man. Well, he sounds the call. That's the call, man. That's the call.
Yeah, most of the time when the drums start playing in the movies, this is something about to go down.
Yeah,
The,
yeah,
the, the, the drums start playing. Hey,
yeah.
JBG said timing of Floyd and Bill Drummond is sketchy on the Riyadh season presser next day. Hey, one thing we know about these people who love clout is that they would definitely try to take away from fighters that they throw shots at all the time. And
Yeah.
um, even though it was a big presser, I don't think it did anything and took anything away from the presser. It was what
Nah,
it was, man.
nah. It did for the reality TV crowd. The reality TV crowd is into that type of shit. But the boxing crowd, the crowd that's going to fights, supporting fights, buying tickets, did nothing. They was in tune with the Riyadh card, man.
Yeah,
You
for
know
sure.
that shit. That was epic, man. That was epic, man. And I was talking to somebody behind the scenes, right? Chris Colbert, man. Had he not got rolled up like a soft taco, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
Ryu rolled him up like a soft taco. That
Yeah.
possibly could have been his fight, man.
Yeah.
With
True.
Issa
True.
Cruz.
True.
With Issa Cruz. Let me ask you this, Combat, because I know you pay attention a lot, right? Don't you find it odd, right, that two of the guys, right, that fought on the last Showtime card are officially scheduled to fight before a lot of guys that haven't even fought this year? Because David Morrell's on this card as well as
Mm-hmm.
Ryu, and they were on the last Showtime official card.
Yeah.
They're getting dates before fighters that haven't had dates in over a year.
But also both of them are fighting at higher weight divisions too, man.
Yeah,
Dave Morrell is fighting at 175 and Ryo is fighting at 140.
I,
Both of them
I,
fighting at different divisions than they was on that Showtime card.
I was trying to do some research. I think David Morrell is a Louis de Cooper's fighter. I don't know about Ryu. I was like, that might be the common denominator right there, that they're both Louis de Cooper's fighters.
Okay.
Yeah, I know David Morrell is though. I
I
was
mean
like,
that's an
damn,
educational point for me because that's a good point. I'm gonna have to ask around about that one. That's a
yeah,
solid one right there. You know what I'm
nah,
saying?
because I'm
Why
like
are they on the card?
these guys are getting dates, man. There's a lot of people over there struggling, man. Ain't in a while, man. Like these guys getting these are 2 dates that they getting, man.
Yeah, I'm curious and you know how boxing is. I don't know about all this, this Riyadh season on how they're sourcing these fighters. That's one thing we haven't been able to tie down yet. Like, yeah, I know you mentioned about inactivity. I understand that. but still, it's kind of like we don't know. Like the two fighters you just brought, El Rayo's moving up to 140. Isn't already some fighters there that can get the fight?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We was just
fighting Esau Cruz.
Yeah, we was just talking about one, Gary Antoine Russell, man.
Yeah.
He could have got that opportunity, and he was ranked in the WBA once upon a time, man.
And speaking of Gary Antoine Russell, it was a statement out there that he was on his way out, but supposedly he put it out there that that's not true or something like that.
No,
I saw that today. So
yeah, and then Big Brother Gary confirmed it. So I think shout out to my sources, right? I broke that, man. I said it. I was like, yo, I got the phone call that it was untrue, and the person that I go to is a family member, and then Gary took to his storyline and said it. I was kind of happy. I'm like, man, this would be dope for him, man.
Yeah, it was too, because I said he go over there with Eddie. Shoot, he gonna be on the Riyadh season. He gonna start getting the fights that he want. We might see him in there with Esau Cruz or another champion over there.
Yeah, and they got him too. They got they got Devin and they got Sabril Matisse. Yeah. But they also got Richard Hitchison. There's fighters over there for him to fight, man.
It is. Especially Richardson Hitchens. I mean that would be a good fight to see Antoine besides a title fight. I won't see him in a title fight, but Hitchens, that'd be a good fight. You know what I'm saying? Since he was talking so much last time. That'd be a good fight for him.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Joel Diaz. He was just on the trainer Joel Diaz. He was just on that Pro Box card. Yeah, he did an interview and he sounded like Derrick James, man. He said that Devin Haney ain't gonna be the same again.
I just wonder why, all of a sudden we hearing this so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
One fight, man.
We hearing this so much. When Deontay, lost, they were saying, oh, he should be retired. But Deontay is much older than these young lions.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I can see where you're going with that. But Devin's still in his 20s. And we've seen Mexican fighters go to war. We don't see all these other fighters go to war. You know what I'm saying? I seen like Miguel Burchelt, for instance. Older fighter. And he got flatlined by Oscar, and then he comes
face
back
planted,
face planted. He comes back and fight Jeremiah Nakathila, and he beats him. So I can see if your fighting style has basically placed you in a position to take damage like that, and you might go out early. But Devin, I don't know. It does look rough, man. It look like rough waters ahead for him, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know about no retirement, but it does look like based off.
You know what it is, man. He just gotta heal up. I think more so than anything, it's his ego that got bruised up, man. It's the fight game, man. You're gonna you especially when you lose a fight, you're gonna take punishment, man.
Correct.
I just think he just gotta heal up. He's still young. Just come back with a soft touch. And I'm pretty sure Bill knows what he's doing. Bill got him to this point, and it's not coincidence. You know what I'm saying? So
Sander Martin. Sander Martin is his mandatory, right?
Yeah. He's not a big puncher. That's not a dangerous fight. He's not a big puncher. Like I would not go in there with a puncher, regardless of his record. If the guy's known to crack, I'm not putting my fight in there with no puncher.
So what if he can get what if Esau Cruz wanted to call out Devin for unification?
Me personally, you know how we get down. If I'm advising and we're having a team conversation, I'm like, nah, not after that fight.
Yeah.
Okay. Cause he did what we like to call the Harlem Shake a couple times in that shit, man. And you just don't jump.
Shake.
Yeah, you just don't jump back in there with a guy that can make you do that. Cause look, and I'm gonna use this guy for example. And we talked about this at the Stewart Hotel with Coach Andre Rozier and Coach Terry. And I remember before the fight, I said, yo, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. Josue Vargas. I said,
Yeah.
yo, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out, right? I said, he's jumping right back in there with another puncher. I said, the moment he gets hit hard, he's going into shell shock. And what happened that night, Combat? Went right
When
into shell shock.
Yep, when shell shock, man.
Yeah. You don't like when you get knocked out the way he got knocked out by Zepeda, you do not get back in there with another puncher.
Yeah,
He went into shell shock, man.
he did. You're right about
Yeah.
that. He did.
Yeah. He went right into shell shock. Like you don't do that, man. You do not do that.
His
Yeah.
boxing is so technical, like making decisions behind the scene, whether a fighter should or shouldn't do something. That you're right. It has a lot to do with just processing it. If you want to look out for what the best interest is in your fighter, or you just money hungry,
Yeah.
you'll send your fighter back in there for a check and get him touched up.
You ain't lying about that. Motherfuckers do it all the time. What we call that? The sacrifice. The sacrificial
Yeah,
lamb.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's sacrifice. That's why I'm like looking at Moulton, who's a Mayweather fighter, and he was being lit up. Luckily he wasn't in there with a real puncher, but he was being hit too much. And I'm saying,
Yeah.
dang, he's so young, bro. How long
17.
is
That's
this
not
guy?
cool.
Yeah, how long is this guy gonna last? 17 years old. I mean, how
Yeah,
long you
no.
gonna last before you start getting dropped?
Yeah. No, that's definitely not the vibes, man. He's a baby, man. Let him develop, man. Let him get a little bit of man strength. Let his balls start to hang a little bit. You're doing it all wrong. But certain people you can't tell them nothing because they'll tell you like, man, what have you done?
Yeah,
This is what I do.
yeah, they will ask you, what have you done? What fighters you got? What
Yeah,
fighters you have like that? You know.
yeah, yeah.
I guess they have to spin the reel back to Jihad. Remind them when Jihad was signed.
Yeah.
LeBron Don.
LeBron, the LeBron James of the game, man. It all changed, man. But I was trying to be undercover, man. But Jihad did the infamous interview with you, and then the cherry on the Sunday is when he did it with Ellie Setback and said it, and then it was a wrap, man. It was a wrap, you know.
That's what's up, man. It's gonna be interesting in the upcoming weeks, no doubt about it, man. We got a good
Yeah,
fight card to look over, and then like you said earlier, June 8th, Jihad Tucker is back center
yeah,
stage, man, for another showcase. Be sure
yeah.
y'all tune in and get tickets, and let them know about your ticket that you have going on, selling tickets.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a ticket giveaway. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I might do it like the rest of these YouTubers, spin the wheel or something. But I'm gonna give a couple of subs some tickets. Um, um, and like I said, all the super chats and the cash apps that I receive now are going to purchase tickets for the upcoming fight. For the June 8th card, which most likely is gonna sell out because it's a Puerto Rican Day fight card. The Puerto Rican Day Parade is the next Sunday, and if you know that those fight cards sell out fast. Xander is the headliner, and shout out to all the Boricuas. They come out and support, man. Unlike the brothers, right? The
Yeah.
Boricuas is gonna come out and support theirs, man. Where the brothers they don't know how to work it out. They be in competition. They want to snake you. They want to do the same thing you do, but ain't doing shit at all.
Hmm. I think that's a big salute, because I'm just putting it out there. It's no specific shots at anybody, but the way you go about giving back to boxing is different for everybody. He's doing a ticket giveaway, person tickets for the upcoming fight, which he has a rising sensation, super future world champion that he's giving back to the boxing community with these tickets, so that they can show up, unlike just getting some money and just spinning the wheel and giving it out to a random. It don't make any sense, man. So that's what I'm talking about: the sharpness, the decision making, and yeah, giving out to the community, get these tickets out there so people, goddamn, they can attend the fight. That's what you do, man.
Yeah, shout out to you, HW. Look, HW, if you still out there, man, yo, donate it to the channel, man. I'll cut you a little finder's fee. You know, I'll put you into the play, man. If you still got any of that 30 racks left, you know.
Yeah, man. H Dub, if you got that some of that 30 racks, definitely donate the News by Shaw News. He's giving back to the community, bro. With the
Yeah,
tickets and everything. Unlike you went on vacation and went and and had a seafood blast and everything. I
yeah,
don't know. You was just randomly given freaking 30K from spinning the wheel. So there's no knock on you, bro. No knock on you.
nah. But yo,
Because
WCS, man, I appreciate you letting me be on the panel, man. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to everything
yeah,
you
man.
got going on. Yo, I'm glad to see you back in rotation, man. That just goes to show you, all you haters out there dropping slips on my guy's channel, you can't stop the hot grease, man. Can't stop the hot grease, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Yeah, back active. And man, let them know where they can find you at, man. And
Oh,
where the sauce can be.
I'm on IG. Blah blah Shy is one of my accounts. Showtime Shy News is the other account. I don't really mess with too many people on my Facebook account now. Only business people and stuff like that. But you could email me JONESSHALON at AOL.com, and you do have options, man. And I am known to know a couple people in the game. You know what I'm saying? I know some hitters, man. If you are like we say, shout out to music. Music always laughs when I say this. If you do your thing in the ring, the phone will ring. You know, so if you're doing your thing in the ring, maybe the phone will ring, man.
Absolutely. Right about that, man. No doubt. Appreciate you pulling up as always, man.
Appreciate you,
And
WCS. Thank you for
be safe
everything,
out there,
always.
man. No doubt, man.
Appreciate
You
you.
know what it is. All love, bro. Salute. Those of you in the chat, as always, man. Shout out to the hottest in the game. Shout out to OG Mr. Golden in the building. I see you on deck with it, bro. But yeah, definitely check out the News by Shaw News doing his thing. Active behind the scenes and out here for y'all with this boxing media content. And shout out to that future world champion Jihad Tucker, man. He's one of the most entertaining fighters in the game right now at 154 pounds. He's the number one prospect out there. You know what I'm saying? He's had some fights where they were supposed to be challenges, and he pretty much shut them down. Multifaceted, dynamic fighter. You know what I'm saying? It shows him fighting on the inside. People should, try to buy the Jihad Tucker pamphlet on boxing on the inside and slipping punches. A lot of fighters can't fight on the inside. Then he can fight on the outside. He can sweep and use his lateral movement. He's a solid one, man. He's well taught. Great boxing IQ. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff he do with his movement, you can't teach in the gym. You got to be able to take what you taught and then add it to what you was blessed with innately. You feel me? And then this younger brother, $1 Million Molly, man, Southpaw killer. Dude has freaking mad boxing skills. He has a kill switch, man. I've seen him at work and sparring. What stays in the gym, but I'm not mentioning no names. I seen him shut down an opponent. They say no more, because if he keeps on going, it's over. You know what I'm saying? So they felt it was deemed necessary to stop and move on to somebody else. So shout out to $1 Million Jamali Tucker. His brother Jihad Tucker, and then the young warrior that's in the shoot, that's learning, sponging up everything. Bam bam, he's on deck. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to music. Music don't play around when it comes to this. He's out there training up these young warriors, and it's gonna come a day and time they'll be able to look back at this and say, yeah, we did it, man. We did it. All the hard work, we finally did it. You know what I'm saying? We finally picked up the chip. We finally, made it to the pinnacle. That's what's up. It's a good thing. Boxing does have some positive moments. You know what I'm saying? It does. 402 in the building. What's good with it, 402? I see you. But shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game, man. I mean that mature group of people, boxing fans, that it's certain times that they'll go in on some people, but no clowns over here, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like about the quality over quantity when it comes to my chat. You know what I'm saying? The quality over quantity, NT day of the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding with quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? So salute to y'all, man, for having that boxing knowledge and be able to leave your comments with the boxing topic and all that, and supporting Hot Grease, supporting WCS. We should do it again, man. I'm out. Peace.